Magnification volume 0%.
Good afternoon, and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today we're doing things a bit different. Usually the Fridays are meant for something like what I did on Monday, where I did all the Lego Locker stuff. But I had spent all weekend doing the Lego Locker videos, and I just wanted to get them out. I was super excited. I wanted to get them out to you guys and gals, and it's been shown over the past few days. I've noticed that a lot of people are watching it. More than my average, I should say, because my average is 0 to 5. So holy crap, I'm getting 7 and maybe even 12, and that's really cool. Numbers like this, I'm moving up. So let's talk about Lonzo Stalker Wilkinson today. He is the sergeant. He's got a really cool backstory. In the comics, at least, he's got a cool backstory. He was a part of the Vietnam War with Stormshadow and Snake Eyes, and actually, helped save them. He was their commander during the Vietnam War, and it was after that war that Stormshadow and Snake Eyes went to Stormshadow's home, and Snake Eyes learned to be crazy cool ninja, and then all that craziness happened then. But during the Vietnam War, Wilkinson was in charge of Stormshadow and Snake Eyes, and I thought that was kind of neat. It'd be nice if I got a lieutenant once in a while. I could have sworn it was Lieutenant Lonzo Stalker Wilkinson, but I guess I was wrong on that one. I could have sworn he was a lieutenant. Anyway, he is quite an excellent figure. It's definitely worth the wait. Now, for you guys, those of you who don't know, this was my first GI Joe growing up. I had the Stalker that didn't have a helmet. He had that hair like this guy's, and though this guy's hair is molded a lot better, and we're going to talk about that. But anyway, this was my childhood GI Joe. He was in all of the adventures I had. Him in that red and pink GI Joe that had the helmet. I don't know who that was, but he looked like he was some crazy sci-fi pilot. I have no idea which GI Joe that was. And it took me forever to figure out that I was playing with Lonzo Stalker Wilkinson, because I didn't get new GI Joes growing up. I got GI Joes that my parents found at the Goodwill and stuff like that. So I don't know anything about the GI Joes I played with growing up, just because we always got them secondhand. I don't think we ever got a brand new GI Joe. But wanted to mention that to you. Now, we did always get brand new Legos, because I was a Legos kid growing up. So let's talk about this guy. We're going to talk about accessories. Then we're going to move into articulation. Then we're going to move into sculpt work, because that's the way we roll here on this channel. And so since he's carrying his knife, we'll talk about his knife. He's got this little kniff. The knife isn't much different than other knives that we have seen in the G.I. Joe Classified. 1 second. Stupid drop down hinges. All right, if your G.I. Joe Classifieds always have a problem standing up, and they always want to lean left or right, check check their hips and push them both in. The drop down hinge may have engaged. Here is the kniff. And it's a simple sculpt. They didn't really do anything fancy with this. They did sculpt in a bit of a handle. That's nice. And there's a guard around the handle to stop somebody, another blade from coming down and slicing your fingers. But the blade of this guy is it's honestly the worst knife blade we've experienced so far in G.I. Joe Classified, and that's a shame. We've seen some really nice kniffs here, but this one is just it feels right, but the blade is too fat. The blade itself is a little too fat. That's the blade he comes with, and of course he comes with this nice holster for his knife that is on his hip, and we're just going to go ahead and put that into place. There it goes. And nope, that's the wrong way. No, that's the wrong way, definitely. All right, so just go in there, Mr. Knife. There we go. The knife is in place, and now we'll move over here to the gun on this side. There it is. Now he comes with a nice pistol. It is more like a Desert Eagle, one of those 50 caliber Magnum pistols, and he's actually got a an ammo extender on the bottom of it. So this gun can hold a few more rounds of ammunition than normal because his ammunition is sticking out the bottom. I think it would be cool if they had actually made that a removable piece. That would have been neat. But no, that's his Desert Eagle. It's got a nice sculpt to it. You got the nice pistol sculpt. It has an iron sight sculpted into the top of it. Nice little trigger guard. A pistol the length of it is decent. It's not a snub nose, and the handle they actually did they include the screws? It feels like they actually sculpted in the screws to hold it all together. That's cool. So we're going to put that back in the holster so we do not lose it. And next up on the list is going to be this really neat piece. If I can get it out, there it goes. This is a silencer. But this is unlike any silencer we've seen so far in the G.I. Joe Classified line. This is a rectangular silencer. I mean, it's got the same nubbin on it, but it works better. It's more like a barrel extender than a silencer. We're going to pull out, set it down real quick, pull out his Desert Eagle again. And now we're going to attach the Desert Eagle to the barrel extender / silencer, and when put together and positioned correctly, it is a barrel extender, not a silencer. And this makes the 50 caliber pistol here, his Desert Eagle, into, or Magnum, I should say. I don't know if it's 50 cal or not, but it makes it into a barrel extender. This thing's now got more range to it. That's really cool, and it may actually, you can imagine that it also softens the noise and acts as a silencer, but it's also a barrel extender. And that's a neat addition, and all the lines on it line up perfectly with that pistol, which is really cool. And I'm glad to feel it. It always surprises me the attention to detail that they do with G.I. Joe Classified, and that's why whenever I see something screwed up in G.I. Joe Classified, I mention it, because I am holding this toy line to a higher regard than other toy lines just because of its history of bringing me the best that it possibly can. And that's why I hold it higher than others. Now, his hat is a folded over felt hat, beret like before. It's got his little patch on it. And did you drop down hinges engage again? Anyway, it's got this little patch on it. That's from his unit, I assume. And I have to say that out of all of the hats we've gotten, this one doesn't. It sometimes sticks on his head very well, and then other times it will just fall off. It's like Beachhead's one, where you're going to have to use a little sticky tack to ensure it stays in place all the time, because sometimes it just wants to pop away. So we're going to set him off over here to the side, and we're going to reach into the... Did you lose your hat? You didn't lose your hat. Good. Excuse me. So, hey, stand. Thank you. Okay. Now, let's bring open the locker and start pulling the guns out of the locker, and I'll talk about them. I have had them stored in the locker because I just didn't want to lose them before doing the video on him. And here they... Oh, wait. That's not one of them. That's Meowskull's gun. We're going to put Meowskull's gun off to the side. And finally, we're going to grab this gun. Okay. And anything fall down here? Anything? No. But there's some stuff up here. So let's go ahead and grab that stuff too. All right. Now, we'll leave it there for now. We'll talk about these guns first. He comes with 3 guns. That one surprised me. I wasn't expecting 3 guns. I was expecting more like 2. But 3's cool. I didn't expect that. Then again, one of these may actually be from something else. I'm not sure. Let's see which one I want to talk about first. We'll talk about this guy first because this guy is more like a... This thing's more like a M16 than anything else. It's like an M16 plus AK-47. And the M16 and the AK-47 had a little child, and this is the gun that came from it. Let's see if we can get its ammo pack out. All right, so we're just going to tilt this guy a little bit. Yeah, it's nice. The supply, the shelf I built in there is so good at keeping all these things in that you actually have to tilt the machine over to get them. So we'll go ahead and put the smoke blast effect in this gun. That way I don't lose it. I don't want to lose my smoke blast effect. It's my favorite one. And then left in here, we've got this big banana clip. And this big banana clip is going to go into this AK-47 M16 looking gun, just like so. Is that the right way? Is that the right way? Did I do it wrong? Nope, 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 nope. I put it in correct. Boom. Perfect. There you go. That's the M16/AK-47 gun. It's like a mashup of the two. It's got some decent sculpt to it. We've got that nice sculpted in grip on the front underneath the barrel. The ammo containers really well sculpted out to be what I would assume one of these things feels like. The scope on top of this gun is quite excellent. This gun really, really reminds me of the battle rifle from Halo 2 in that little scope at the top and its feel. Like, I wonder if the Halo 2 battle rifle was molded off of the type of gun this thing's based on, or if it's the other way around, this thing's based on the battle rifle from Halo 2. But needless to say, this thing is a very, very nice addition to any G.I. Joe Classified toy line. And we're just going to set that off to the side. And now we're going to we'll talk about this gun in a minute. We're going to talk about my favorite gun first. This one straight up, this thing reminds me a lot of a Browning assault rifle, a bar. It's just a big assault rifle gun. It's sturdy, it's strong, and it comes with this barrel of ammunition. And I love the barrel of ammunition. Now, the barrel of ammunition has this little sculpted detail on it that are these little bullets coming up out of the barrel. And, you feel the tips, and then you can feel the back, and you feel the little circles, which means that, one is the front of the round and one is the back of the round. And that helps you figure out how you're supposed to plug this in. If you feel on the side of the gun, there's this little slit cut in there, right? Right there, yeah. Just this little slit cut into the gun. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the pointy bits, okay? Now we're going to turn it around. Underneath the gun, there's a place to put the ammo crate. And we're going to put the ammo crate into that. And then these little bullets are going to stretch up the side of the gun and actually just kind of fall naturally. You don't have to do much to put them in that little hole, but they're going to go into that little hole right at the top. And now you've got, this big circle of ammunition coming up in a belt-fed system to the top of this gun. I like this gun. This is a very fun gun to have. It not only has iron sights on it, but I think these are actually places where, if you had a little string, you could possibly poke a hole in them and then have it hanging from a strap. Like this this needs a strap. And that's something that I'm wishing the G.I. Joe Classified line would do, is take a little hint from the Black Series and start using a little fabric to make us some straps for these guns, because some of these guns work better when they have straps on them. But that is his Browning assault weapon style gun. It's got a great stock to it, that piece that fits on your shoulder. Excellent molding there. Grip style molding underneath the barrel of the gun where your other hand will hold it. And yeah, it's an excellent, excellent weapon. And now set that one off to the side, and we'll talk about the last one. Stalker here comes with a backpack that's actually a storage for his more advanced weapon. This is more of like a compact sniper rifle style weapon. This thing is not very long in comparison to the other weapons he has, but I assume it is very precise. And it also, there's a little container on the side of the thing that fits on his back, and we can pull out the little ammo clip that goes in this gun. That's how come I think this gun is actually a more powerful sniper rifle style thing, because this ammo pack is just so tiny. And I think I'm putting it in wrong. Yeah, I think I am. Where does that fit? Unless this isn't an ammo pack. Oh, crud. I can't feel the spot it fits in. There it is. Okay, cool. So we're just going to try and get it into that spot. Can we get it into that spot? It does not want to go into its little home. But you can get it in there eventually. And when you do, it sits at a weird angle. There it goes. You in? You're in. Yay. There it goes. It sits at an odd angle to be like 45 degrees away from the gun. Maybe I tilted it wrong. Now if I spin it around, it doesn't fit in at all. So it only fits in with the rough bits sticking out towards where the barrel's at. And then I guess it doubles as an extra handle or something, but I don't really get it. I don't really get this weapon at all. This is also the weapon that came with the Stalker and Bumblebee Transformers crossover. I just got that in the mail, and I'm going to be talking about that next week. But this is the same type of gun that came with that Stalker. And the ammo pack on this is just so weird. But we're going to unremove that ammo pack, and we're going to put it back in its little side container, because if I don't understand it too much, I don't really want to lose it. So just put it away. There it goes. That little handle bit is stashed away, and then we can put the weapon itself. When putting it back into its little container, make sure that the handle of the weapon is sticking out. And something unique about this is its stock, the piece that fits on your shoulder, is very hollow. It's very similar to the ones we got with the Viper 3-pack, where I was talking about the hollow stocks, the collapsible stocks those guns had. Well, this is definitely a collapsible stock. And I think that's kind of neat that it came with one as well. It's just a shame that they don't make them collapsible. That would be a cool little extra play feature. But there we go. It is stashed in his little backpack that goes on his back. And we don't need this gun, this locker anymore. So we can go over here and stand beside Vader. Okay, now let's grab Stalker here. All of his accessories are off here to the side. Let's put his hat over there so we don't lose it. And the final accessory to talk about is this this scarf. I always forget the word for scarf because I live in Florida and scarves are illegal here. Well, not illegal, but you know what I mean. Like, you're considered crazy if you're wearing a scarf here in Florida. There it goes. Remove the head, and we're going to take off the scarf, and we'll put his head back on. So we can talk about his body without the scarf being in the way, and that way we can just discuss everything. Here's the scarf. The scarf has got some excellent sculpt to it. I love these little bits that are hanging off the edge of the scarf. They're just all over the place. This feels like something that maybe his grandma hand wove for him or something like that. I do like the scarf mold, and I like it a lot better than I like than the scarf mold for the Vipers. Those scarves are really crappy compared to this scarf. This scarf's awesome. Then again, the scarves on the Vipers are smaller, so it's easier to put a backpack on them. This scarf right here gets in the way of the backpack all the time, and you've got to be careful about that. So it's my thought that you can have the scarf or you can take it off. It's honestly, it would have been better if it was a cloth piece. That way it wouldn't interfere with the backpack as much as it does, but it interferes with the backpack a lot. And it is a shame that this scarf is not made of cloth. So we're going to set the non-cloth scarf off to the side. And now we'll talk about articulation, saying as we have discussed everything else accessory-wise that comes with him. Articulation-wise, his head is on a ball joint, and it's on an additional joint that allows it to look down really decently and look up decently. Not as far up as I would like, but it looks like he can look about as far up as a person with a kink in their neck can. It's pretty good. I got a kink in my neck. Ow, that hurts. That does hurt. Ow. Next up, articulation-wise, we get all the articulation we've come to expect and love from G.I. Joe Classified, including double-jointed shoulders. He can do the chicken dance. Get that other shoulder together and put that hand underneath his armpit. Come on. Pick your arm up. Hey, what's up with your arm? Oh, there it goes. Pick up that arm. There you go. Now put that hand underneath the armpit. Pick up this arm a bit more. Yeah. Okay. Chicken dance over. He could do the chicken dance. You can put him in the chicken dance if you want to have an Oktoberfest day with him. Though you're going to need to find him a coxcomb hat in order for him to actually be a true Oktoberfestian. But that is all. Everything about his arms is similar to what we've come to expect and love from G.I. Joe's. His core motion is amazing. Look at that. He can bend all the way backwards. Oh my God! You can get so much bend. Wait, can you actually? Yeah, you can. Oh wow, that's cool. Look what Stalker can do. Stalker, you can stand on your hands and your back is bent. Oh, that's cool. That's That's neat. Okay, that's fun. He can actually get enough posability to do that. That's cool. He can bend over backwards for his commander, like a good sergeant. Um, Now, did I screw up the? Nope, there it goes. Okay, cool. Now he has additional articulation that we don't normally see in GI Joes. He's got butterflies, butterfly joints. He's got butterflies in his eyes. Yay, the butterfly joint in the shoulder. It's not much of one, but it is a butterfly joint, which is awesome, and I love it. I love having a nice butterfly joint. He does come with these annoying suspenders. I have disliked the suspenders. I think they're a little too floppy. Like had they been made out of cloth, they would be a lot easier to deal with. Um, it's just that these suspenders were obviously a retool or just a repaint of the suspenders that came with Heavy Artillery Roadblock. But Heavy Artillery Roadblock is taller than Lonzo here, so these suspenders are a bit more floppy on him than they need to be. All right, so he does have that core side to side motion, and he gets two joints in his core to help him with that, so he can bend over sideways pretty far and the other way pretty far. He can also look at the top and the bottom at the same time. I think that's great. He has middle swivel and lower swivel, so he can do more natural looking around poses, which is really good for people that do photos. Um, Coming down here to his legs, the hip does have some side to side motion. We do have not 360-degree, but we do get some left and right from the hips, and that adds to the left and right we get from the core to make a nice, you could spin the hips a little bit there, and then you spin the core a little bit like that. All right, so maybe not as well as I thought. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so you just got to really work with it to get it to do the things you want it to do, because there are some soft ratchets in there, and it likes hanging out in its ratchet points, so you got to get them out. Uh, Drop down hinges, like I complain about sometimes. I mean, they're sometimes cool, but then sometimes they're just annoying. The the side to side motion in the legs is all good. This guy can do a lot of martial arts poses, and then you got double jointed knees. You got that boot swivel going on right below where the pants tuck into the boot, and then he's got the normal foot action that a G.I. Joe Classified would have. So this guy's got all the articulation plus butterfly joints that we've come to expect and love, and double jointed elbows. And his hands, by the way, one of them, are they both side to sides? Actually, I can't figure out. That hand's really stiff. Oh no, that hand's an up and downer, and then this hand, his right hand is an up and downer, and his left hand is a side to sider. So there's that. Now let's talk sculpt wise. We'll go from the boots all the way up, because the first thing I want to look at is the boots. And holy crap, they sculpted the underside of the boots. You know how much I love it whenever they pay attention to that little detail and we get an underside sculpting of the boots. That is great. You never see it really, but it's nice to actually see that they were trying to make this as great of a collector piece as possible, and they went ahead and sculpted the underside of the boots very well too. Now the boots themselves are sculpted very nicely. It feels like these are older boots. He's worn them for a while. They've got some wear on them. They've got a lot of wrinkles. These are nicely used boots, and he maintains them very well. We come up here to you got where the boots are tied up together, and the boot laces are tucked in, and then you get the pants, which are tucked into the boots, and I like that. Paratrooper style, he's tucked his pants into his boots, and then he's tied the boots up nice and tight so his pants can't come loose. And the same sculpting is on the other side. I love all the wrinkles and stuff that come from around where the pants are tucked into the boots. That is really nice. That is an attention to detail I appreciate. And the knee pads he comes with are knee pads. They aren't just pieces of they aren't just parts of his pants. They're actually knee pads, and he's actually got some slightly molded in straps. You can kind of feel them on either side of those knee pads. They're not much because there's all sorts of hinges behind there, but they did manage to give the illusion of straps. Now we come up here to the upper leg, and we've got some pockets. Though unlike the Vipers, this guy doesn't have a lot of pockets in his upper leg area, so that the holster for his gun doesn't have to sit so high up it's interfering with the joint for the leg. Unlike that Viper 3 pack, those those holsters really annoyed me. This holster's perfect because they didn't go molding the leg crazy with all the pockets. They actually kept the molding on the leg very minimal, and that allows the holsters to get the most amount of use. And these holsters are very nice, but for some reason this holster here at the top on the knife is actually climbing up the leg. So we're going to push that down just a bit and make sure it doesn't interfere with any of the hinges. All right, that's the legs. Now we come up here to the groin area. He's got some pants sculpt going on in there. It feels like he's wearing a cup. And come around here to his Joe butt, and the Joe butt is got he's got a couple of back pockets. Feels like his wallet's in one of them. That's a cool little bit of detail. That's neat. Is he a bifold or trifold guy? He's a trifold guy. And while it's a bit pudgy, and there's no bit of wallet, I mean that pocket's a bit pudgy, and there's no bit of wallet sticking out the top. He is definitely a trifold guy. Wait, what's this other thing sticking out of the top of this other pocket though? Is that his wallet, or is that just something else? I think that may be his wallet. He carries his wallet on his left hand side. Wild. Usually, I have mine in my right back pocket. All right. And judging by that wallet, it is also a trifold. It's just that it's put in there haphazardly, and that little bit of corner of wallet sticking out of the back pocket of his pants, perfect for somebody to come by and yank it. I didn't even think about checking wallets. That's neat. They actually included a sliver of wallet sticking out of the pocket. Okay, that makes me smile. I like that detail. Let's go into the core of his body here. We've got the nice belt. We've got his body armor coming up here. It's tightly packed onto his body, uh, which is neat. We don't get a blank body very often. This body just has some sculpt work on it for being armor, but for the most part, it's blank. There's nothing there. It's all smooth, and that's neat. That is new. I haven't really experienced that before. We've always had some crazy textures on the core of the GI Joe, but not this time. This guy's front is very smooth, very flat, very armored feeling. That feels like some sturdy, solid armor, no wrinkles. Now we come over here to his arms, and we get a little bit of a deltoid armor going on at the top of the arm area. We come down here, we see some fabric texture coming into play. We come down all the way to the arm, turn around to the elbow. The elbow does not feel like it has an elbow pad. It just feels like it's regular cloth for the shirt he's wearing. And we come down here to where the gloves are. We can feel that he's actually folded the shirt back on itself towards where his hands are. Maybe they gave him a shirt that's just a little too long because it's GI issue, and he had to fold the ends of the sleeves over on themselves in order to ensure they don't get in the way of his firing weapons. That's neat. And on the other side, we've got the same thing. There's nothing else going on his arms. They didn't include any sort of watch or any other sort of thing that's just hanging out on his arms. And now we're going to come up to his head and talk about the head sculpt. Head sculpt is quite nice. We got this nice little half smile. Maybe that's a yeah. He seems like he isn't excited, but he's not having a bad day. He's got that kind of I got to do this job. I kind of enjoy doing this job, but I'd rather be sitting on a couch eating Doritos. Now, come over here to his eyebrows. He has got some very prominent eyebrows and some deep set eyes. I like that about this guy's face. This guy's face is very, stern feeling, but also somebody who knows how to have a good time. Does he have any scars on his face? Let's see. Because I've noticed that they've started doing scars on some of these guys. And you can feel them occasionally mixed in there with everything else. The side of his face does feel rougher than normal. I'm wondering what that's all about. Maybe there is a scar on his side or something, like here, right there. Anybody who does, who actually has good eyes, who can see this, what's going on with this little side here? What is that? Is that supposed to be some scarring going down, or is that just a little bit of a hiccup in the molding? Because the other side's got it similar, like he's got some really, big cheekbones. That the left side feels like it's a little rougher than the right side, and that may just be a problem with the molding, or it may just be that he does have a facial scar that I'm unaware of, that I never thought about before. But yeah, that's his head sculpt, and then we come over here to his hair, and we'll feel the back of his head first. We can feel that he shaves it pretty low on the back of his head, and on the top he lets it grow out a bit longer, but he does keep the sides shaved down pretty thin. It's like the typical military marine cut, except this is a African American, so he's got that curly hair. That they managed to do it very well with this sculpt, and that is cool. I like that. Man, I just this is a good figure. This is an excellent addition to your GI Joe classified line. At the end of the day, I think that this figure deserves a straight up a 10 out of 10. There's nothing I can say that's wrong with this guy. There's no type of uh, problem with his sculpt that I found. The biggest negative on him, I have to say, is this reuse of heavy artillery roadblocks suspenders, because the suspenders were built for a bigger body than Stalker's got. Stalker's got a little bit of a smaller body than heavy artillery roadblock, and you can tell that in the suspenders. Um, yeah, guys, this has been today's episode of More Than Meets the Eye, and I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about Sergeant Stalker and the neat things that I've discovered from my own blind perspective. We don't look at color here. We only look at the way the toy feels and if it's a good toy or not. And this guy is an excellent toy. He's got all the articulation you've come to expect, plus more from the G.I. Joe Classified line. He's got all the sculpt work that you would expect, plus more from the G.I. Joe Classified line. And he's got all the accessories that you would expect, plus more from the G.I. Joe Classified line. I have to say, this guy's a great addition. And the biggest negative to him, other than the suspenders, is the fact that he can't carry all of his weapons. You know how I feel about weapon storage, but I'm not really going to hold that against this guy this time, because it's just, maybe it's the fact that I have a bias on Stalker, and I like Stalker already out of the gate, and maybe not. But I will admit I have a bias on this character. I enjoy him. He's my favorite GI Joe. Thank you for watching today's episode. Please tune in next Prime, where we will be talking about the Transformers crossover Bumblebee and Lonzo Stalker Wilkinson. Yeah, we're going to do another Lonzo Stalker Wilkinson. Yes, we are. Except this guy's going to be 3.75 inches tall. Until next Prime, thanks for watching. Oh, and if you like this video, please hit the like button and share it with other people who may be interested in seeing a video on Lonzo Stalker Wilkinson. And also, comment below and tell me about your favorite G.I. Joe. Which one was your favorite growing up? Which was your G.I. Joe that you brought to all of your playtimes? All right. Thanks for watching and answering my questions. Bye-bye for now.